Welcome to Magic.ai, the operating system for hospitality. At Magic, we know an operating system is more than just software and systems. It's about people, because hospitality is nothing without them. So supporting the hospitality community is our number one goal.
I think there needs to be more of a support system. Like, you have to love this business and you have to love every aspect of it, including sharing tribal knowledge on what is successful and also tribal knowledge of what is a failure.
Founded by lifelong experts, we're building the place where everyone in hospitality, from seasoned pros to first-timers, can gather, share, and grow together. Plus, we're crafting scalable tools and AI-supported software to boost your business. Dive into our vibrant community platform packed with meaningful conversations and robust tools and templates designed just for you. Need more? Our custom software solutions have got you covered. From recruiting and staffing to digital playbooks and dashboards, we're working on building a unique hub of resources unlike any other. Magic is your single point of origin for important conversations, accessible tools, valuable insights, and more. Join us at magic.ai. The evolution of hospitality is here.
When we talk about sustainability, we always connect it to the nature, but I think we have to connect it with the employers and with the nature. You have to give a better way to the people work first thing. We are in 2024, we cannot be working 24 hours, 16 hours in the kitchen. We need to have our social life.
Manu Buffara is the Brazilian chef who runs the restaurant Manu, which ranks 35th on the Latin America's 50 Best Restaurants 2023 list and received the Flor de Caña Restaurant Award in 2023. She is ranked 19th on the Global Best Chef Awards 2023, is a judge on the 6th season of The Taste Brazil, and has held a permanent seat on the Basque Prize jury since 2019 and was named Best Female Chef in Latin America by 50 Best in 2022. Manu also leads the Instituto Manu Buffara, which undertakes educational and social inclusion projects and distributes food in the city's poorest areas.
Cooking is not easy because you have to use your mind, you have to be patient. We need to be patient with the ingredients and try to find the best way to cook the ingredients. Try to find the best technique. People criticize him in the beginning, but then in the restaurant they have opportunity. If you live in the street, they have opportunity to wash their hands, to sit in a table, because sitting at a table doesn't matter which kind of table, but it's dignity. You sit and you have a proper meal. I always believe that everything that we got from the society, we have to give back as education and information. So when I started to work with the public politics, was because we need to give it to the society some, information and education about foods. Because this is, when we talk about education, it's not about being polite, but we have to educate our kids, educate our planet, to understand what's the meaning, like eating better, what's the meaning at eating vegetables, or what the food can make to my body, So we started the garden project was for the communities, not just planting their own food, because they are harvesting their own food, but for them to understand about the planet as like a compost, doing their own compost, understand how the bee is so important to the planet. We need the bees to provide food, to provide the pollination around the trees. So that was like the main, when I started to work with our institute, was for education and information. Of course, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger because we are taking over a lot of projects that always it's about cuisine, is about food, and is about people. Because I think as a chef, it's not for you have your restaurants and have awards and, cooking amazing food as fine dining or a bar or a hotel, but you need to teach people, like your own staff, Sometimes it's like nutrition and obesity. That's something that we are fighting here in Brazil. So I believe all the chefs, we have a work to do with the society. You cannot go and just do your thing and then keep your knowledge to yourself. So sharing, I believe, is the word for the future as being a chef or being a restaurant business.
Well, it's, so much of hospitality is about taking care of others, right? And so when you're talking about education of others and sharing what you know, to me, it's an extension of hospitality, right? The way that you treat people in your restaurant, yes, of course, that's a sign of hospitality, but also you're bringing hospitality. This is how I see it: is you're bringing hospitality to your city, to your region, to your people by taking care of them through education, through sharing what you know.
Yeah, because the industrial always, we cannot fight the industrial, we cannot fight the processed food or the ultra processed food, but we can work side by side, you can have a good
Provide
food
an alternative.
with, you don't need to have a lot of money. You need to use your brain. You need to use your knowledge. So sometimes some of this community, they don't have the knowledge, but they see on the TV. So they think it's fancy, it's nice, it's good for your body, but sometimes it's not good for your body. But
Right.
it's how they want to give the message.
Mm-hmm. So, in doing research for this podcast, I came across something that you said a few years ago in a talk that you gave that I really loved, and it has stuck with me. And I recently had my son just turned 1, and so as I'm going back to work and working, it made me think of this thing you said about you going to work when you leave your daughters, that you don't say mom is going to work, you say mom is going to change the world. I'm not sure if you still say that to your daughters when you leave, but
I believe it's like when we, as a woman, we are a mother, and then we work a lot and then travel all the time. And then sometimes I was packing and I was like, ma'am, I'm packing again. I'm crossing the globe to do a speech about food, and work sometimes is too hard because for them it's like the work keep my moms away, So it's I how I can transform that word work in a good way. So I told them at home I can teach you guys, but I need to travel to teach others. So that's how I became with that phrase to help them understand how food can change a family, can change, how we can help the others to get a better life, healthy life.
because so can you talk a little bit more about the role of a chef as you see it today? You've spoken a little bit about it, but sort of the role of a chef as educator, as
Community
how do
liaison.
yep, perfect.
I believe when we became a chef, we became a leader on the community because who make you a chef? Of course, it's your team because you know more, or because you study more, or you read more, or it's not us to put us in our position. It's not like you finish school and then you put a jacket and put Chef Manu. I believe the people around you make you a chef because you know a little bit more, you study more, you have more opportunities. Uh, I I I really believe that a chef who is just inside their kitchen, what they are doing for the others. You are just cooking a fine dining, or you're doing a sandwich. I think we have to connect it again, connected with the people, with the community. And it's not like, oh, okay, I have a producer that produces amazing organic vegetables, and but inside their home, they are eating frozen lasagna. So, I think we have the knowledge, but we need to share that knowledge. We need to get involved more. I know it's hard because I don't have time. I don't have, but sometimes if you go in a school of your kid, in the corner, hey, do you need help? Moms need help to prepare, to prepare the snack time. How can I do, easy recipes, cheap recipes? Oh, we don't have time. I totally believe. But sometimes it's the connection when you have at home. Like I use my Instagram as as something that you can tell people. It's not using my Instagram just for for fun to show like my travels or my trips, but sometimes it's you see, but your kid eat better because you are a chef. No, because I have time to prep the food with them. They need to teach, they need to touch the food, they need to understand, because then we are creating a little monsters for the future. Like I don't eat anything green on my dish. You see,
Right.
I was in the States last month, And then a friend of mine sent me a message, hey, can you buy a vitamin in the shop for me? And if I saw the vitamin and said, no. I called her, said, I can't believe it. The vitamin was a broccoli. She gonna give to her son every day in the morning a broccoli. I called her and said, hey, ma'am, you have to give broccolis. Not it's unbelievable,
Just
like
cook
I said,
the real thing, right? Yeah.
Said, and then she's like, it's really hard. I said, if you just put broccoli, I said, it's the only thing that we have, or sometimes introducing new food, put the broccoli on the beans or do a rice with broccoli,
Right.
But it's a lot of job. It's about education.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Yep.
Yeah.
But we need, because it's not like your son doing like, thank you so much. Excuse me. But then, this is, okay, the education that we can do at home, but we can provide that education outside at the home. So I started working, the school that we work, I started working private school, my kids' school. And then today, of course, we have huge programs that we work with the government, with the small cuisines around the states, that we help them with the ingredients that they have. I know it's less ingredients that we can have at home, but you can prepare really nice food with, don't spending too much, but you can bring the people back to the kitchen again. We need to be back in the kitchen,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. And it speaks to, I think, your ethos around sustainability as well, which is obviously something that has had a great effect on your career. I'd love you to tell us a little bit about what sustainability means to you in terms of running a kitchen and why it's important.
When we talk about sustainability, we always connect it to the nature. But I think we have to connect it with the employers, with the financial, and with the nature. Because you have to give a better way to the people work, first thing. Like they need, we are in 2024, we cannot be working 24 hours, 16 hours in the kitchen. We need to have our social life. I always put in the hands, once I was reading a book, and we have 5 important things. It's healthy, friends, family, work, and health, friends, family,
spirituality,
work, and spirituality. You know what I'm going to talk about.
I took a guess. I was just thinking about,
And then we are playing a game. We have 5 balls. The only ball is made from rubber. It's the work ball, because if you are playing, the rubber ball you can drop it, but you always gonna, you're gonna find a new job. You're gonna go in another.
Bounce back.
You'll bounce back. But the other balls is made from glass, and if you drop it, it's gonna break. So I think the balance of the life has to be, and then you have to think about the others, because sometimes we are a chef and then we have the opportunity to have a day off on Saturday night, or we have the opportunity to, go out with friends and, I don't know, grab a beer, go in birthdays, weddings, or, have your spirituality party, sports. So I think we have to think about the employers to have the same life as we do, and then you have the balance. And then the people always ask how you can preserve my staff. My chef is with me since 12 years now. The dishwasher at the restaurant is 10 years working with us. So we try to have the balance with them, because you have to give opportunity, you have to give knowledge, information, and everything. And then the financial, of course, we have to have sustainability in the financial part. Right. And you have to have a health business, And then if you have a health business, you have healthy employees. Oh, yes. Yeah. And then in the nature part, that's the hard, because you are not sustainable at home most of the time. And then we start, working, changing the restaurant as like the trash, the water, how we can, help them to understand how important is their part in the globe, in the planet. Mm-hmm. So it was 5 years working hard, and then make them understand how the plastic, can be difficult in the ocean. We're talking about, I just saw a news about, I know the seaweed that is the sargasso, that is, we cannot find one beach in Latin America or in Central America that cannot have sargasso. Sargasso is a problem that we cause them in the ocean. So sometimes you got to show them, because this information never got to the people. So we try to be sustainable in other parts. Of course, we are not perfect, but we try to, even the food that we eat in the restaurant, the staff food, we try to, being healthy, try to, give a really good food and health food and be balanced, with your life. It's important to the balance for you can, survive the world that we are living today.
So you talked about that it took 5 years, did you say, to sort of implement some of the sustainability changes in the restaurant? What was the most challenging part?
The trash. Separate the
like
trash.
Just the amount of trash that the restaurant makes?
Because, so today we work with a startup, they call Compost, Curitiba Compost. So we started with 3 gallons. They gave us, for start the program, 3 gallons for we can put the rest of the food. And then they transform this in compost and they give back. We give to the gardens that we work with. And then today we are using 1 gallon per week. So it's like, it's a really big change, because we're starting to understand, because, we buy from small producers. So they call us, Manu, you need the whole broccoli. And then I ask them, if I don't get the whole broccoli, the leaves or even the flower or whatever, you going to use it? Yes, Manu. They're going to be here. They're going to be in compost. And then like the leeks. Do you need the whole leeks, or do you need just the leaves of the leeks or the bottom? So sometimes we buy all, but we don't use it.
Wow.
So if you leave this on the garden will process that to compost. So it was working with the garden, working with us, and try to develop a new way to cook, a new way to, we are launching a Brazilian book for like easy recipes that with the leftovers that at home. So simple things as the rice. You cook the rice for the lunchtime, and then the rice is going to be in your fridge. And then you blend the rice with a little bit cheese and then transform this in a waffle rice. And then you can do a pizza, and then you put tomato sauce. You can put and then can be a snack for the kids, or it can be a dinner at home. So something really easy that we can cook, and then we can transform the food, and I think this is something that we need to work in the future, even the restaurants, but at home, restaurant, big kitchen, like the huge kitchens that we have a lot of leftovers. And this is something that I'm really worried about. I'm always trying to push, and to help to use the leftovers again and transforming new dishes or new plates.
Well, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's interesting. I listening to you speak is almost like kind of turning what we know inside out. Like we really have to kind of re-examine the way that we approach the profession in a way, to kind of create new opportunities to thrive in a world that has become so challenging to do business in, but also to make, conscious, responsible decisions as to how to operate, right? And I think the typical chef probably feels pulled in a million different directions every day, just trying to keep the lights on, pay their employees, serve the guests a great meal that's innovative and interesting and locally sourced. Are there any really simple ways that you think you can provide some examples of for the average or the working professional to bring sustainability to their kitchen in a way that's an easy way to start?
We can start with the all the packets that you buy. Sometimes it's a packet of milk, right? And then you're gonna put the packet of milk on the trash. How many trash? It's gonna be huge. If you just cut it, the can, if you smash the can, small stuffs. Cutting the bag of the tomato come in a plastic bag, and then you just throw away. If you cut it and put a small, it's 15 seconds in your day, and then you can do your recycle trash in one bag per week sometimes, and using 5, or you can, if you use 5 today, you can transform in 3. Sometimes it's like how we can do the way better. And of course, sometimes if you like, we use a bag of trash. Our bag is made from cassava. It's expensive, yes, but you can put it with your compost. But sometimes it's like less, like you start to producing less. Don't throw a lot of food away. I always tell the staff, like, don't kill the broccoli twice. He already died once for you. Sometimes you go in a restaurant and the chef is so in a rush, and then they kill the fish twice. And then you have to throw away and then start another one. So cooking is not easy because you have to use your mind. You have to be patient. The same as we are patient with our owns, we need to be patient with the ingredients and try to find the best way to cook the ingredients. Try to find the best technique. But I think, like, when we talk about being sustainable at the restaurant, I believe it's starting with the water, the amount of water you use it, starting the amount of trash you use it. I know it's expensive. We use the sun energy, but I know, that it's expensive to put the system. But with the food that your staff eat, provide a better food, or try to get a new alliance with small producers. Try to be really in touch with them, and then you can get a better food for your client, for your customer, for your staff, and then you don't need to bring the whole ingredients to inside the restaurant. Sometimes you can left the parts that you don't use it for the others, Or I believe when you are a chef, you use your creativity to put the best on the dish. So we have to use the creativity to be sustainable, how you can transform that, and when you have happy staff, you have a happy team, you can do better in your own business, because people will give their life for your business, they will provide that. And this is about being a human being, this is about understanding others, because we always put ourselves in the beginning, in the first place. And then sometimes we have to think about the others and put them in the first place. And then I'm totally sure you're going to have a really great team that they will give their life for your business,
So you said your chef has been with you for 12 years and you mentioned your dishwasher has been with you for 10 years. How do you create such a wonderful environment that these people want to stick around and give you so much of their lives and so much of their dedication?
I believe it's funny because it's not just on Manu. I see, like, our chef in the hotel. We just opened the hotel. She was the head chef of the restaurant of Manu, and then we put her on the front of the hotel. And then Simone is still our executive chef. But I believe when you created a nice environment, and of course we give a lot of school. We have Manu Talks. It's a program that we create inside the restaurant that we bring small producers, even like our yoga professor, my yoga professor, to give them about mentality, how important. We last time we bought, they choose who they want, but it's twice in a month, and then last time they asked for gym teacher, like to teach them 15 minutes gym every day. They can do it at home, and it's easy, nice, but it's good for the body. And so we give them a lot of things that the restaurant that is not expensive for us, but it's a group of friends that I know that they don't charge from us, but it's nice. Other in May, they choose to, they asked me to bring, organize, this guy organize money, how you can, how much you make it for the month, organize your financials. So
Finances, yeah.
yeah, because people want to listen, they want to be listened. So we open that to them to talk, to tell, to bring new way to develop something. And so this is something that we are super open-minded. I believe you create a family, a community inside of your workplace. If we see the big companies as like Google, we see like huge companies that are really good with the employers, is because you give a little bit, you can listen them, we leave a little bit freedom. And, in the restaurant, you don't have time to get in, but you have responsibility. So on Tuesdays, the day that we open the restaurant, all the chefs arrive around 10 noon. But the other days, they have free time. They can arrive at 2, they can arrive at 3, they can arrive at 10 a.m. But it's a free time, like that. They know their responsibility with the guests. So I believe it's trust from the other side. I always want to trust the human being. So I believe this is the trust. We create that and work at Manu. But in the other side, if you see, the hotel is a little bit different because it's a lot of people. So we have this with the head chefs and the head on the dining room, our dining room chef on the floor, but we cannot have with all the stuff. But we try to create a good environment as like teaching and give like English class, Spanish class for free. They can come, they can go. And so we start to get like a good relationship with them. It's not about being friends with them, but respect them.
My gosh.
And listen.
Yeah.
People love to listen.
Yes. And to learn and be, and to, people want to learn, giving them that opportunity to do that. So speaking of, we'd love to talk with you about the Instituto Manu Buffara, which undertakes educational and social inclusion projects and distributes food in the city's poorest areas. Can you tell us about the Institute and what you're doing? You said earlier that it's growing and growing. We'd love to learn about that.
So we have in the Institute a lot of works inside, a lot of projects. The one that we provide food, it was a big thing that happened in my city. So the mayor in 2019 prohibited people to serve food on the street. Like if you are from a church, if you are from, they prohibit. Why? Because they think we had to give dignity for the people. So we have in Curitiba 8 restaurants that it's a lunchtime. The mayor charge 50 cents for people can have one meal at the restaurant. But during the afternoon and night, the restaurant was closed. So they opened this for church, for restaurants like us to serve the food. So you can serve a snack during the afternoon at 3 p.m. or you can serve you can serve the dinner at 7 p.m. So always is 380 per person per day. And you have to serve a nutrition food that you prepare in your association, in your institute, or some restaurants. And then I have to bring with one drink, can be water, coffee, and then one fruit, or sometimes a cake, whatever you can provide. So this was, people criticize him in the beginning, but then in the restaurant they have opportunity. If you live in the street, they have opportunity to wash their hands, to sit in a table, because sitting at a table doesn't matter which kind of table, but it's dignity. You sit and you have a proper meal. Then you sit on the street with the dirty, and of course in that time they threw away. So the city was dirty, wasn't cleaning. So now it's more organized. And of course, it's not just for homeless, but if you are immigrating, like we have a lot of Venezuela, Haiti, that is difficult for them to provide 3 meals at home. So you can come and then grab your dinner, but you have to eat inside. You cannot grab and eat in the street. You have to eat inside. So some of the institute and the association work on this that we call Mesa Solidária, the project. It's a mayor project that we have Mulheres do Bem, Women for Good, that we provide that meal. Now it's a lot of association work with. We are working once in a month because it's a lot of restaurants, a lot of
Wow, that's
church.
great.
Most of them is church. The church have a lot of types of spirituality that they have their own kitchen, so they provide different types of meal. So we serve once in a week, once in a month. And the other project that we have that is huge called Feed Curitiba, Alimenta Curitiba. So it's a huge project that it's 2 times in a year. We have the pocket one that is small. It's 1,000 people. And the huge one is 3,000 people. It's going to happen in December. It's huge. So it's like a fair, but with different ways. So we have one tent that talk about agriculture, one talk about lawyers. They help them with whatever the questions that they have. We have women's healthy, we have nutrition, we have even vet for the dogs. And then we have a lot of cooking class that happen during the day. We have cooking class for the kids. Always is about food and the ingredients like quinoa. They don't know. They thought the first time that we introduced 3 years ago in one of our fair, they asked if it was a bird food.
Bird seed, yeah.
Yeah,
Bird seed.
Like yeah. So no,
Yeah.
how we can use that? So a lot of chia. So a lot of these kind of stuff. It's really hard for them because always is connected to bird. So we starting to develop like superfoods. How can some recipes, and then we create a book. That this is a small book with some recipes and recipes that you can use as like lemon. You can use to take from white t-shirt, how you can wash with after you squeeze the lemon, how you can use it. So we help them with this little book that we give to them. So this is a huge event that we have security police with us working because it's too much people and it's kind of insane. And we have some other projects inside the institute, but the big one that we have now, it's a flying butterfly. It's connected to the moms. The moms that work inside of houses, as a cleaning or as a cook. So we help them to provide more knowledge, like how can they be better for they can have better salary. So we teach
Better
them
themselves, yeah.
Yes, so how they can cook a better meal, like simple things as papaya. You can serve to your cut papaya on the middle, put the cottage inside, put some granolas, put some fruits, and then you can serve the papaya to the table for your employee. So we trying to provide them a new way to serve the food, even at home, and how to prepare, like using. Not using oil, but maybe you can use like coconut oil or even pork fat is more healthy than using. So we try to provide them more information, education. This is we using now a school, a cooking school that is provide us. So we do the class every Saturday. It's 4 hours. So we have different teachers. So even like how you can iron a better t-shirt, a better shirt, So small things that provide them to be better, to feel better. So we have psychologists that talk with them. So because it's not just the food, but sometimes you have to put them in, push them up. And so this is a huge work we are doing with our president, the president of the institute. She's really connected with education. She was for many years a president of a good school here. So she is our leader on that project, and it's super nice because a lot of chefs it's calling like, can I give a class of that? So it's nice. This
cool.
is like the three main projects that we have on the Institute, besides the Bee Project and the Urban Garden. That's now it's really big that they have their own department.
Wow.
This
incredible.
ability that you have, the ability that you have to use your career to become a community institution is really, it's commendable. It's just amazing. I kind of know that there's a whole side of that that's probably very political that you have to figure out how to navigate, right? It's kind of meeting the right people, setting up the proper relationships so that, you can continue to get the traction that you want for the organization. And I know that in itself is probably a whole lot of work, right? But
I believe you don't do it by yourself. But the main thing is connecting people.
Right.
Because I cannot do by myself, but you can connect the right people. You met this, hey, I have to introduce this to that. So, and then you have to be open-minded. We work with several churches, because they have a lot of social programs and they have a really good projects. So you have to be open-minded to work with public politics, with church. It doesn't matter if you're a religion or not, but we are doing good for the world. So, just open your mind and just do it.
Good for the world.
Easy.
I love it. Good for the world. Not easy, but are there some really easy ways though that we could advise people who want to give back to their communities in tangible ways like you have to get started?
I believe the easy part, the easy way, and it's like I see moms in the schools. The school is the easy ways because it's really hard. Imagine a mom that is, a CEO or working in an office. They have to leave home at 8 or 9 and then be back at 6. So sometimes like the first thing that I did in 2016 was like 100 recipes, easy recipes that I share with the school, with the school of my kids to help the moms how can do like a dinner, fast dinner, healthy and easy. And sometimes it's
Do you want to send that to me? Is that... I mean,
But sometimes you just listen, because you are in the community and sometimes you see them struggling with something that you know how to do it, So sometimes we have to listen more and then ask the community, ask how you can help, or with your knowledge, with, you know how to cook, how to use the ingredients. How to use, the leftovers. So sometimes it's just sharing, share with the community that recipes or giving I speak or cooking lessons, So this is like making you, it's easy. You just need yourself and your ability. So it's not something that you need to the others to help you to do it.
Amazing.
So instead of sort
and
of
on top of all of this, ladies and gentlemen, we can't forget that we're talking to an incredible chef, right? I feel like we haven't even touched on the innovative cuisine that you create. World's 50 best, one of the greatest chefs in the world, and I just. It's so amazing to listen to your approach because I feel like we're just scratching the surface.
So who is the one person you hired that transformed your business?
Juliana, my private assistant. I cannot live without her. And she's my best friend since the high school. And then
really,
yeah,
that's
and then
so nice.
And then she come to me once and said, "I can help you," but she has their own business, huge business. Now she's working just for us, but she's still with the business. But it's really nice because we fight, but yeah, we have a husband and wife relationship. But she's like she's my best friend, and we are. Our family is really connected together. So it's she organized the business for us.
Wow. That's great.
That's great. Okay. I've got one next. What has been the most successful marketing decision that you've made for your business?
Oh my God. I believe when, because I always want to do everything from my side. I always want to take the decision, but was to work with the people that we have on marketing today. We have a group of them to work on our team, our group, and to let it go, because I'm not graduate on marketing, and I always was the one to do the last decision. Of course, I still doing, but it's nice when you understand that you are the cook. You're not graduate on marketing, so you have to listen to others. So I believe this was like 3 years ago that I made that decision, and then we put an inside team that are working on marketing for us.
Yeah, I love that. Letting the people who are the experts do the job. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to get out of the way, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the one tool you use every day?
In the kitchen, you mean? Or no?
Anything. In the kitchen, out of the kitchen.
Any type of tool.
Any type of tools. I believe the tools that I work every day is my brain. That for me is like a work, wake up in the morning. I have in my body, as like because I need the brain and the body to survive, so I really care about that too. That is my body. So I believe this is like, doing yoga and, meditate. So I think this is the tool that for me is most important that I work every day is the body. So this is something really important for me.
Well, I would say that tool has worked pretty well for you, Chef. It has been an absolute pleasure hearing your story and listening to all that you have achieved. We bow down. Certainly, I know we did a lot. We did a bunch of research on you and all that you're up to leading up to this. And Carol and I just kept talking. We're like, how does she do all this? This is amazing. So kudos to you. And you're obviously, I was going to say kudos to you. And obviously you're a very brilliant and passionate team as well who help you carry it all out. But thank you. And it was an absolute pleasure talking with you today. So thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Manu. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.